Yeah. Let's talk about the previous chapter, how it ended. The previous chapter ended with Kuma dying, and every single anime YouTuber was crying like a little bitch. They were crying, their tears were soaking the entire planet. Kuma, Kuma, no! I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous because when I read the last chapter, I was laughing. You know why I was laughing? Because this is One Piece and no one ever dies. So, spoilers! Kuma came back at the end to punch the world noble in the face. Yeah, the same Kuma that is supposed to be dead. Personally, I would never take any deaths in One Piece seriously. There was a time when deaths mattered to me, when characters dying made me sad, but the last time was turning Punk Hazard, where the Marines saved the children and Toshigi. I was like, damn, this is so nicely done. The way they sacrificed themselves was so heroic. It's an amazing moment in One Piece, and then Oda took a massive shit on one of my favorite moments in One Piece. Oda decided that nah, these nameless marines that had a epic moment sacrificing their lives for Tashigi, they're all alive, every one of them is alive, they're all alive and well, don't worry children. And when I first read that moment in Punk Hazard, that was the first time I started noticing that, maybe One Piece isn't as good as I figured it was, because this was kind of fucked up. Oda literally killed off these characters to get, emotions out of his readers, and then he was like, just kidding, just messing with you, they're all alive. It's kind of sociopathic, to be honest. And the same thing is with Kuma, like, come on, Kuma's death was in chapter 1102. If you are 1100 chapters into One Piece, then you should know that no one ever dies. You should know better. What are you doing crying about Kuma when no one ever dies? Like, okay, Ace died, but Ace got replaced by Sabo, and Whitebeard died, and Whitebeard is probably the only real death in the main story that actually stayed dead. Okay, so let's get to this chapter. Now let's talk about how Kuma managed to get to Egghead. Kuma was climbing the red line. Wait, what? What? Why was Kuma climbing if he can teleport? And then he climbed on top of the red line and he ran through a marine base. So he ran through a marine base and then he got attacked by Akainui and Akainui brutally attacked the guy. I mean, his leg was blown off, half of his face was blown off. I guess Kuma can't teleport because he's dead. His soul is dead. The only thing that's alive is his body. He's like a zombie at this point. And the one rule we know about One Piece is that dead characters don't have devil fruits. So that's probably why Kuma didn't teleport. But Kuma got attacked by Akainui, brutally attacked, and he kept running and running, and then he randomly teleported away. Like, what? Why? What? Huh? Why didn't he teleport the moment he got on top of the red line? What the fuck? Why did he, why did Kuma wait for Akainui to brutally attack him, to literally take off his leg, destroy half of his body, before he decided to teleport away? How does this make any sense? But Mr. T. Chimp, you don't understand. One Piece is a masterpiece. Oda is a genius. Okay, whatever. Let's talk about Bonney now. Bonney hated Vegapunk. The reason why Bonney came to Egghead was to kill Vegapunk, because she believed that Vegapunk was at fault for Kuma dying. But in this chapter, she forgave Vegapunk, and Vegapunk gave her a sun necklace, because the sun and the son god Nika are very important to Bonney. Bonney was a massive fan of Nika. One of Bonney's goals in life was to find Nika. Bonney knew that Nika was the freer of slaves. Bonney knew that Nika had rubber abilities. Bonney knew that Nika fought against the world government. I mean, they literally did the Nika dance, Bonney and his father, except it was never the Nika dance on Skypeia. It was just a dance, but now it's retconned to the Nika dance. She knew that Nika was the freer of slaves, that Nika had rubber abilities. I mean, chapter 1101 or 102, I can't remember, but one of these chapters literally had Bonney asking, "Hey, how does Nika look like?" And Kuma said, "Yeah, Nika has rubber abilities." So it makes complete sense that a character whose entire life revolves around Nika never mentioned Nika once. It makes complete sense when Luffy, a guy with rubber abilities, punches a world noble in the face in order to free the slaves. Bonney is pissed off and threatens to kill Luffy and all of the Straw Hats if she ever sees them. Nope, not a retcon at all. Bonney was always established to be a follower of Nika, apparently. Do the One Piece reviewers not notice this shit? Like, how is it possible that I'm the only one realizing that wait a moment? Bonney knew that Nika frees the slaves. Bonney knew that Nika has the rubber abilities. Bonney knew that Nika fights against the world government. A guy with rubber abilities fights against the world government to free the slaves. And Bonney is very pissed off and threatens to kill the guy because she knew about Nika the entire time. Because that makes sense, right? I'm sorry, but the story of One Piece has been retconned to shit. Nothing makes any sense anymore. At 10 years old, Bonney had 140 million berry bounty. That's pretty good for a 10-year-old. That's more than Nico Robin. Nico Robin was always established as the youngest person with the highest bounty. That was always canon in the story. But now apparently Bonney has always had a higher bounty than Nico Robin at the age of 10. Because that makes sense, right? Bonney at the age of 10 had higher bounties than Kaido at the age of 15 and child Nico Robin combined. That's absolutely ridiculous. Bonney literally had 2 years to arrive on Egghead. 2 years! Think about how crazy this is. Bonney had 2 years to appear on Egghead. She happens to come during the same time as the Straw Hats. And then Saturn arrives on Egghead because the Straw Hats are on Egghead. And Saturn just happens to come across Bonney and he confesses that, "Bonney, I killed your mother." And then Saturn is about to kill Bonney and out of nowhere Kuma arrives at the exact right moment to stop Saturn from killing Bonney. Everyone arrives at the exact right time because that makes sense. I mean, I already made a video about how everything in One Piece is a massive coincidence. Shit happens and we just have to go with it. Yeah, it makes complete sense that Bonney, Straw Hats, Saturn, Kuma, all at the same time, at the same place. Don't question it. One Piece is a masterpiece. Oda is a genius. I mean, One Piece reviewers, they don't notice any of this shit. I take a random chapter, I read the chapter, I'm like, this is complete nonsense. The One Piece reviewers, the guys whose job is to review this shit, they read the exact same chapter and they start drooling and saying it's a masterpiece. Like, it's a plot hole filled, retconned mess.